Now, I'm going to assume that he's got some sort of pretty devastating charge attack. So let's just move forward by 1. Yeah, there we go. What's useful about these monsters on giant bases, though, is that they're easy to hit. But we've got equal skill here, so I don't really want to get involved in a stand-up fight with him. So let's move here. That was a good choice. Right, now, because if I aim for this square, unless he backs off, I'm guaranteed to hit him, which is useful. There we go. So now I'm in trouble because I literally cannot manoeuvre out of the way. So let's just try and do this with a straight roll. Need to roll well. That's a very good roll. Wow. That Minotaur did not put up much resistance. Okay. So we found some gold, which we don't really necessarily need, but we have found one of the crystal shards, which is good. Let's go north. Exits in all directions. Let's go east. Okay. This corridor feels quite claustrophobic. This maze is actually harder than it's been on previous... giant rats. This is a lot of enemies. Right, I need to keep an eye on what they're doing. Okay. Oh, so they've got corner-based attacks. That's interesting. Do I try and finish that one? Let's try and finish this one. It's going to be a roll. His 6 versus my 10. Good. Okay, he might be moving. Let's attack this space. This one's pretty much got to move, hasn't he? There we go. They're not indicating their attacks, which is a little bit nerve-wracking. Let's attack this one. Okay. Let's attack that space. Yes, good guess. Not this time. It's another clash. 5v10, although he's rolled very well. Let's try... I can't remember. I wasn't paying attention. Okay, he's going to move. Let's see if he goes back in that space. Ah, okay. So I should have learnt the pattern at this stage. There we go. Another roll. That's good. So where does he move to? Oh, I can't remember. I really should pay more attention. There we go. There's actually quite a lot to take in during the fights, particularly when there's multiple enemies, and if they're not telegraphing their attacks, then I think it is actually much harder. Oh, was there a south option? No, there wasn't. Okay. All right, let's go back this way then. I think I did have another turning choice back up here. West. Let's go west. Is this going to join up? No, it's not. This corridor is a T-junction. Let's go west. This is the room I was looking for. Okay. So, laying across the top of the ogre with their back to you is someone or something dressed in orcish armour. The sobbing and wailing appears to be coming from them. If you examine the creatures more closely, you carefully walk around the creatures. On closer inspection, you can see that this is definitely an orc of some description, and they are very upset. The orcs appear peaceful, and apart from blank open eyes and a swollen tongue hanging from its maw, you would assume that it was sleeping. The orc senses your presence, but is too mournful to care about you. Ask what the problem is. She's gone, completely dead. I told them orcs that she wasn't well enough to enter this stinking maze. They pushed her too far this time, he says through muffled sobs. You suddenly feel sorry for these wretched creatures. Obviously the ogre meant something to this orc. So if you give the orc a gold donation, he gives you a handle. So, where do we need to get back to? Because this is effectively the end of this puzzle. Because can anyone remember where the cage was? Is that it down there? So let's go west and south and south again. I have to say, I mean, this is where I quite like the book presentation, but actually when you're navigating this maze, having to keep having this text popping up and choosing the kind of north, south, east, west thing, at this point I'd actually rather just have arrows to move around. Slot the winch handle into the slot. There we go. So we let the goblin out of the cage and then he attacks you. I haven't found a better solution to this puzzle yet. Oh, this one's really annoying as well. I'm going to move. The only way to damage this guy is basically to outwit him because he's got this really annoying attack. He is immobilised. And actually, being immobilised doesn't seem to stop him moving, which is another little bit of rudeness. Right, he's now going to attack me and back off, so let's try attacking there. Oh, it was a good guess, but it was the wrong guess. He's now going to attack me potentially and move, so let's move as well. He's now going to move. Let's try there. Yes! See, I can learn. Okay. Right. So we need to get back to that room, which was west and north. West. North. Yes, go west. Life is peaceful there. I won't break into song because YouTube will get upset with me again. Go to the plinth. Insert them immediately. Climb the stairs. Okay, stage 1 of the maze is complete. We now have the second stage of the maze. So I think this might be the image that wasn't drawn by what's his surname? Russ Nicholson. I think that's the new one. Because it's not quite like the other drawings in the thing. I have way restored some stamina. Okay. So this is the... you enter a large square room. In the centre of the room is the grey-haired old man you met earlier in the School of Sorcery. Don't worry, we're not going to have to do more maths. His desk is covered in paper and parchments of various sorts, and he holds a long quill pen. He is surrounded by books. Thousands of them line the shelves and the walls from floor to ceiling, and you also notice a large wooden door in the far wall. As you enter, the old man looks up at you. Oh, it's you again. What do you want? The old man continues to glare at you. Well, speak up. Cat people got your tongue? So, it doesn't do well if you talk to him pleasantly. Demand that he answers your questions. He shrieks and hides behind his desk. He is terrified of your aggressive manner. His squeaky little voice... Oh, I've not been doing a squeaky little voice. It said earlier he had a deep voice. His squeaky little voice explains that he is the maze master in charge of the maze of Zagor. You talk to him and reassure him that you mean no harm, and he eventually comes out from behind the desk. I think we should kill him for that maths puzzle. Okay. You must find the scroll known as the 400. He gives you a skull with a large red dot. Okay. Right. Another maze. So in this maze, there are doors with painted skulls, and when we find a door that has the same number of dots as the skull we're carrying, we can go through it. Okay, so we have found the fool. He needs gold times 3. Well, we don't have 30 pieces of gold. We're just short. Oh, we'll give him 3 gold pieces. We don't need it for anything else. So, if we give him the skull, he takes it and starts painting numbers on it. So he's now changed it to a 5-dot skull. So I don't know whether this shortens the puzzle or increases it. But it's kind of fun anyway. Goodness me, I keep finding corridors. There are, would you believe it, there are actually 6 doors in this place. Come on, there must be some doors somewhere. There we go. So we've found the door with the 5 red dots. So investigate the door, hold up the skull, and we find our way in. And we have found the 400 scroll. That was quick. That's good. I'm glad we've done that, because there's a somewhere in here there's a room full of wizards playing Dungeons and Dragons, and that encounter is really awkward. So apologies to those of you watching the stream that you're not going to get to see it, but yeah, it's awkward. There's an achievement for killing the jester, so I am going to do that on one of my runs, but I don't want to do it tonight because I just want to see what happens if we finish Krea's quest. "You have done well, adventurer," he exclaims as he breaks the seal and unfurls the scroll. I'm just going to let that sink in for you guys reading it. This is not the end of our adventure. He turns the scroll around and reads aloud the number 400, followed by the words, "Your quest is over." "You're a little confused, as your quest is far from over." "You look rightfully confused," continues the Maze Master. "Don't worry, this scroll is an old artifact that was created over 30 years ago. Many a young brave adventurer sought it and many perished. You will no doubt have come across their pitiful souls on your journey. I hear there is one called Oriana who has harvested these souls, but my guess is you will already have met her." So, there we go. We have survived the maze. Okay, we're going to rest. Sit on the bench and rest. This bodes well. We have a save. No, don't open the door. No. Just follow the passageway. I clicked wrong. I tried to open that door before. I got my head chopped off. You continue along the tunnel, which bends to the west and begins to get quite narrow. You follow the passageway when you see a dull glow, which becomes more intense by the second. I think that's fire. Oh, good night, Mike. Thank you for joining us. Although we are very close to the end, but if you're doing work, I will not keep you up. But I will be uploading these to YouTube, so you can see what happens at the end. Okay, now do I prepare to dodge the flames, or do I drink a potion of fire protection? Let's drink the potion. We've got it. Thinking quickly, you drink the potion of fire protection. More flames burst towards you from down the corridor. You instinctively brace yourself and cover your eyes as the flames wash over you, but you are unharmed. The potion has worked. Feeling quite pleased with yourself, you stride confidently through the flames, completely unharmed. Here is the dragon. There is basically no way round, as far as I can tell, fighting the dragon, because we don't have DiMaggio's Dragonfire spell. I could try a sleep bomb. Let's do it. Oh well. Sleep bombs do not work on dragons. This is a boss fight I have to do. So it's going to attack. I mean, if I were a gambling man, I would say that it's probably going to be a breath of fire straight towards me, so I might move. I have chosen correctly. Right. He's attacking again, so let's just attack the space. Okay. Right. Crippling volley. So he's attacking. I don't really want to get in his way again, so let's just be a little bit cautious. I'm going to do a positional move here. Okay, he is now moving, so if I hit that square, that's a guaranteed hit. Oh, I think I've got this dragon's number. So he's now going to do Breath of Fire in this direction, so let's move back that way. Crippling volley again. Interesting, he can do his attacks in either order. That is interesting. Let's move back and try. Oh, I can't. I'm going to move. I don't want to get breathed on. try the crippling volley again. So he's now immobilised, so I can move. That would be his... Oh, no. Oh, well. Never mind. I took a hit, but it was only 4 stamina in the end, which is fine. Unfortunately, there are no piles of golden treasure in its cave. That's a pity. Right, this is an exciting moment because I believe that this corridor is what the bull amulet is for. So this, Astragal has warned me many times to beware of skeletons' tricks. Looking again, your keen eye notices that skeletons appear to have changed position. Each skeleton is now facing you with your weapons at the ready. So at this point in the game, if you choose stride confidently down the hallway, you just get a straight fight. If you choose run to the other end, their fingers rake at you as you run past and you lose health and still have to fight them. So I'm going to try using the bull amulet because I'm hoping it will allow me to just charge through without getting hurt. As you get close to the hallway, the skeletons come to life. They march into the centre of the room to block your way. You use the bull amulet and are filled with a furious rage. A red mist descends in front of you and you let out a mighty bellow. Head down, you charge straight through the army of skeleton warriors, which shatter into pieces. You manage to stop yourself before you crash into the door at the end of the Grand Hall. Yay, and I got an achievement! Made it through the Grand Hall without using your weapon. Excellent. I am very happy about that. Now, you reach a large wooden door which is slightly ajar. Carefully, you ease it open with a little Let me start again. Carefully, you ease it open a little further and poke your head around the side to see what is in the room. You see an old man sitting at a table on his own, playing with a pack of cards. He looks quite a harmless old soul, grey-haired and bearded. He is seated. Suspicious room ahead. Maybe I'm being overcautious. Burst through the room, weapon drawn, to surprise the old man. Knock on the door and enter, greeting the old man courteously. This is Zagor. So, we've been given some clues to deal with Zagor. One person said to keep an eye on him. One person said not to cheese him off. Now, I believe that if you have the Eye of the Cyclops, you can deal with Zagor, but we don't have the Eye of the Cyclops. I sort of feel a little bit like rushing in weapon drawn isn't a good idea, but also knocking and greeting. Zagor's a hypnotist, if I recall, from the room with the portraits. No, let's try softly, softly, catchy monkey. The old man looks at you, accepts your greetings and bids you sit down. You sit at the table and notice that he is glaring at you. His piercing stare is becoming hypnotic. See, my memory is there. In your mind, a battle is being fought and you wrestle with your thoughts to repel the invader. Such power! Too hard to resist. Test your skill. Okay, we need a good roll here. Anything less than 11. That's good. You manage to steer your gaze away from his. Even though his gaze burns into your brain, you manage to rip your eyes away from his line of sight. He opens his mouth to speak, and to your amazement, instead of an old man's voice, the whole room resonates with a powerful voice which seems to be coming from the walls themselves. Who dares challenge Zagor? Hear my voice and despair! You throw a glance back at the man and see him changing before your very eyes. This man is younger, stronger and more imposing than before. He is dressed in robes of rich velvet and gold. His eyes are aflame with a blue glow and they are fixed directly on yours. His hands begin to sparkle with a strange magical enemy. Zagor, the Warlock of Firetop Mountain, has been expecting you. Prepare yourself for battle! My final battle awaits me. So, do I grip my weapon firmly and advance towards him, or do I look through your pack for something to use? Now, we have the silver bow. I have this vague recollection that the silver bow kills Zagor. So I'm going to kind of leave this up to you guys in Twitch chat. What do you want me to do? Do you want me to try and look in my pack for something to use? Do you want me to go into this with a fight as a boss battle? Or do we want to look around the room for something else? Bearing in mind that some of the other stuff around the room looks like I'm going to end up fighting giant snakes. So that might not be good. Up to you guys. Do we see if the bow and arrow is the thing? Or do we just fight? I'm going to leave it up to you. I am in your hands. So yeah, while you're doing that, we're gonna have a little look around the room. This is quite a nice little thing going on here. There are books. There are books lining the walls. There are giant snake statues. Silver bow sounds better than cheese unless he's allergic. That is very true. So okay, so you're saying to try this. Okay, so options we're given. We're given the option of the bow with silver arrows. Pete Wotherspoon is saying silver bow sounds better than cheese. I think you're right. Garzini is saying go with the vague memory. Let's do it. Let's go with the silver arrows. Oh. You load the bow and fire, but despair as the arrow flies through the air directly at him, stops inches from his chest and falls to the floor. He looks up and smiles at you with an evil, gloating smile. Maybe I should have tried the cheese. Should we try the cheese? I'm going to try the cheese. The Warlock's laugh resonates in this chamber. We'll see which of us is the mouse, he cries, holding his hand in the air. As he snaps his fingers, a blue flame streaks from his hand at you. The flame envelops your entire body and you feel as though you are falling. Recovering from your disorientation, you get up from the floor and notice that Zagor has grown incredibly large. It's like a Power Rangers battle. We're fighting his second life. Enjoy your confusion, he laughs at you. Not quite, adventurer, look again. The Warlock's magic spell has shrunk your size. Okay, I'm going to eat a provision before we get into this. Fight Giant Zagor. Well, this is fun. But again, we do have the advantage that because he's a large base, he is going to be easier to hit. Can we move? Oh no, I can't. Oh no. Right, that was a knockback. He's also got another attack. Let's try near shot. Okay, let's try attacking here. This is going very well so far. Okay, I'm going to retreat. Oh, he's got a pressing attack. I'm going to move. Attack. He's attacking. Okay. Now, he's not wobbling, which indicates that he is planning to move. I could just fight one. Let's go for this one, I think. Oh no! We got him! You have defeated the Warlock of Firetop Mountain. With a final blow, you manage to defeat the Warlock. He crashes to the ground. You experience a strange feeling and then discover that you have been restored to your normal size. The Warlock must definitely be dead if the grip of his magic has vanished from you. That is a brilliant achievement. I'm so glad you guys are with me. So throw a piece of cheese at Zagor and live to tell the tale. Excellent. That's an amazing achievement. I'm going to take a screenshot of that. Okay. Realising that Zagor's reign over these lands is over, you approach the door and turn the handle. The door opens to reveal a small, dimly lit room. The walls are hung with ornate curtains laced in silver and gold. A single flame burns in one corner, throwing light on a low table in the middle of the room. On this table is a large chest. You step up to investigate the chest, and from all around, yet from nowhere, a mysterious sound fills the room. It sounds like the rumbling of thunderclouds preparing to make storm. You approach the chest and can see that it is held shut by 3 locks. As you approach, the noise gets louder. Hack at the box with your weapon to try and split it open, or examine the chest more closely. You crouch down in front of the chest and look at it more closely. In its front are 3 locks. It seems that Zagor is no fool, and even after his defeat has guarded his treasure closely. Unlock the chest with one of Zagor's keys. It's the only option I've got. Ta-da! You turn the key in the lock and hear the satisfying click as it opens. The other locks disappear and you are able to open the chest. As I say, the more keys you have, the more treasure you get at the end of the game in the form of souls, which then when you can use them to unlock other characters. You swing open the chest lid and gasp at the Warlock's hoard. The Warlock of Firetop Mountain is no more, and you are now the owner of the sorcerer's riches. At least 1,000 gold pieces, jewellery, diamonds, rubies and pearls are in the chest, easily enough to restore Anvil to its former glory. You also find an ornate jar with wispy-looking lights inside it. This must have been the Warlock's personal hoard of souls. You take it. 50 souls! Hidden under these, you find the Warlock's spellbook as you leaf through the pages. You realise that this tome is probably more valuable than all the treasure. Instructions are given for control of the secrets and the creatures of Firetop Mountain. So, do we return to Anvil with the Warlock's treasure or become the new master of Firetop Mountain? Now, Garzine is asking how many characters there are. I'm going to show you that in a minute. I want to return to Anvil, if you guys don't mind, in Twitch, because I want to see if I have completed Drea's personal quest. I'm not sure I did it right. I'm very disappointed that when I poured the blood on the altar that nothing happened, so I'm a little bit concerned. It is tempting to become the new master of Firetop Mountain, but I think in this instance I should return to Anvil and see if I've completed what I set out to do. Thank you. With Zagor now nothing but a memory, his hoard is yours for the taking. You fill your pack with as many valuables as you can carry, including the Warlock's spellbook. Now that he is dead, it is a simple matter to make your way back down the mountain. All of the traps and tricks seem to have disarmed themselves. Ooh, lovely. Having no heed for the obscene amount of wealth that the Warlock has accumulated, you generously donate it all to the villagers of Anvil. They are eternally grateful, and cheer the name of Krea Datura can be heard for miles around. With these treasures, Anvil can be restored to its former glory, and its citizens will no longer live in fear. But your quest is not yet over. You begin the trek back to your rendezvous point with Astragal in Calamere. After many weeks of travel, you reach the bustling city and head for the Parrot in a Cage, a local inn. Seated at the table in the corner is your ally, Astragal. You take a seat and join him. Yeah, you generously ruin the local economy. You come back weeks later and the villagers have all murdered each other, and there is now one person sitting on top of a pile of gold. Well, Krea, I am surprised you have returned from the mission I assigned you. How did you fare? You shift uncomfortably in your seat. How can you tell the wizard that not only did you fail to destroy the mirror demon lurking in the domain of the dead, but you did not acquire blood from the blood fod to seal away the portal? What? I did that! Am I meant to bring the blood back? Did I misread my quest? You failed in both tasks, he cries. This is most grave. My most recent information tells me that the beast lurking within the mirror is preparing to break through into our domain, causing untold horrors on the mortal plane. He strokes his beard thoughtfully. There is nothing else we can do now but regroup and plan a defensive strategy. You will be pleased to know that I have taken care of the Warlock of Firetop Mountain, Zagor. He will trouble the people of Anvil no more. Astragal smiles at this wonderful news. Incredible! Did you happen to discover Zagor's spellbook? You confirm that you did and produce it from your pack. Excellent! This is an incredibly dangerous artifact in the wrong hands. Even good-hearted people can be corrupted by its power. I shall make sure to destroy it. It is the only way to be sure to make sure it does not fall into the wrong hands. But enough of your previous exploits. There is no rest for the wicked, as they say. Are you ready for a new journey? The two of you begin to discuss what may be your most thrilling adventure yet. Your quest is over. Ba-ba! Okay, so I sort of feel that's something of a Pyrrhic victory. I have completed the Warlock of Firetop Mountain. I have defeated the Warlock. I have ruined the local economy, and I have disappointed my master. But I sort of feel like I did what I set out to do tonight. I completed the run. I beat the Warlock. I have not completed Krea's personal quest. I sort of think we've seen all the elements, though. I think what I was meant to do was fight the demon in the mirror and then bring the chalice full of blood home. I don't know. I think I need to read that quest a little bit more carefully. But for the benefit of Garzini, who wanted to see how many characters there were, let's go into begin a new journey. So this first page here, these are the 4 characters that you have unlocked at the beginning of the game. So my first stream that I did, I think I used... So I started off with Decian Strom, but he only has a skill of 8 and he died quite quickly. So I then went back to Alexandra of Blacksand. Alexandra has slightly higher skill. She's very unlucky, and I think she died... There's like a tower that you go to that really does test your luck, and she was just unlucky on every roll. But she had pretty decent skill. And her personal quest was to... Let me see if I can remember. Oh, I can't remember her personal quest. But she was the one that the skeletons really liked. They were like, what? The Alexandra of Blacksand? Will you sign my arm? So she's kind of a good starting character. If we go to the next group, this is where I unlocked Krea Datura. Now, as we go up through these characters, so this one here can be unlocked for 25 souls. This one here can be unlocked for 150 souls. This one here can be unlocked for 200. And it goes all the way up. There's one here that I unlocked out of curiosity the other week. This one here, 450 souls, all the way up to... Oh, new adventurers are making their way to Firetop Mountain. Watch this space for news. So the developers of the game are gradually unlocking more characters. So this character here is 600 souls. So I've currently got 706 souls, so I could do some pretty good unlocking. We've got a bit of a martial arts expert here with skill of 11. I mean, that's basically winning all the time. And he's got some pretty decent attacks, making him unbeatable in any one-on-one duel. This is pretty cool. So these are some nice characters. So I'm definitely going to be playing the game more. So at the moment there are, how many did we say? Let's do some maths. There's 4, 8, 12, 15 already. And then at least another, I can't see quite how many there are there, but there's at least another 3 there. So that's 18 characters. They all have their own individual sub-quests within the adventure. I mean, you're still going through essentially the same environment, but actually, yeah, I mean, there's, as people have been saying, there's substantially more to do than in the original book. There are alternate routes that weren't in the book. There are the individual characters' quests, and I think it's a really fitting homage to the original book, and it's a really exciting adventure game for the PC in its own right. So I'm going to finish that stream tonight by thoroughly recommending the Warlock of Firetop Mountain. I definitely think you guys should go away, buy it, play it, enjoy it. It's really good. Do support Tin Man Games. They're an excellent developer. And if you don't have any of their own game books for phone, I can thoroughly recommend them. These guys started off making their own original choose your own adventure books for mobile devices, and they were so good they got commissioned by Steve Jackson and Ian Livingstone to make official versions of the Warlock of Firetop Mountain. So Tin Man Games are a real success story. I have the first 2 that they did, which is An Assassin in Orlands. Oh, I can't remember what the second one's called, but they're really good. They are really good. And like I say, you can also pick up... when I was talking to Tin Man Games the other day, they've done a mobile phone version of Starship Traveller, which looks excellent. And they've, in the same way as this, they've kind of expanded it and added stuff to it. They have greatly expanded on the original book. So I'm probably going to be getting that at some point. It looks excellent. But I'm going to end that stream there tonight. Thank you all, everybody who's joined me. I'm going to say thank you to Commander Wotherspoon, Garzini, MacN71, Retmock, Space Lenin, Weaverish. Also thank you to people that I remember were here earlier, Mike Snoz, Psycho Cow. Anybody I missed? I feel terribly bad if I miss anybody. I'm going to be making these videos available on YouTube over the next week. So if you missed the beginning of the stream or if you missed the end of the stream, I'm going to be making them nice, digestible, shorter episodes. I don't know whether you guys want to see any more streams of the Warlock of Firetop Mountain. I've got lots of games. I'm planning on doing regular live streams on a Wednesday night on my own channel here at twitch.tv/Holdmykidney. There are going to be other games that I'm thinking of streaming, so do chat to me on Twitter or Facebook about those, and we'll see if we can come to some consensus over what you guys would like to see. Current things that I am considering doing: we've got this thing, Captain Kaon, which is like this thrust style game, which has been designed to be like a kind of throwback to an old Amiga style. It's got very retro style Amiga graphics. I'm also interested in something that I got the other day called Holy Potatoes We're in Space, which is a sort of FTL type game featuring potatoes and a comedy a comedy plot. I'm also looking at I've got a bunch of things, so yeah, talk to me online and we'll chat about what you might be interested in seeing. And yeah, thank you for tonight. I'm going to call that an end, and I will see you guys again soon. Thank you for joining me. If you want to catch these videos, I am youtube.com/Holdmykidney. And again, if you're watching the YouTube videos, do check out my audio dramas. If you go to radiotheatreworkshop.com, there is a link to Escape Velocity, which is the free official Elite Dangerous full cast audio drama. So audio drama adventures based in the world of Elite Dangerous. There are links to Animal Crossing Noir, which is a series based on Animal Crossing. And there are also links to Chaos Reborn, which is the official audio drama of Chaos Reborn. And there are other things available from my store. I think that's everything I need to plug. Thank you all for coming, and I will see you all again soon. Good night.